I'm 55 years old, and 2 years ago, I lost my only child. My son was 30 years old, and he was my entire world. I was a single mother, and while other people built big families, it was always just the two of us. He was my companion, my greatest joy, and the reason I got out of bed every morning. He was healthy, active, and full of life. He was the kind of person who woke up early to exercise before work. He loved cycling, hiking in the mountains, and swimming on weekends. He didn't smoke, he rarely drank, and he was always planning his next adventure. He had a wonderful girlfriend, and they often talked about getting married someday. They didn't have children yet, but they dreamed about building a family together. Then everything changed on an ordinary Sunday morning. My son went out for a bike ride, just like he had done hundreds of times before. I was in the kitchen making breakfast when my phone rang. At first, I thought he had a flat tire or needed my help with something. Instead, it was the phone call that every parent fears. A driver had entered the wrong lane, and there had been an accident. I rushed to the hospital. Even then, I believed everything would be okay. My son was strong. He exercised every day. He had never had any serious health problems. I kept telling myself that people like him don't just disappear. But he didn't survive. I still remember a nurse holding me while I screamed his name. I remember seeing his broken helmet, his sneakers, sitting beside a bag containing his belongings, and thinking that it couldn't possibly be real. How could a life end on such an ordinary morning? In the weeks that followed, people were incredibly kind. His friends filled the church during the funeral. His girlfriend cried until she could barely stand. For weeks, my home was covered with flowers, and people stopped by constantly to offer support and condolences. But eventually, life moved forward. His girlfriend was young, and she rebuilt her life as she should have. His friends got married, had children, and continued living. And I remained in a quiet house that suddenly felt far too large. His bedroom stayed exactly as he left it. His belongings remained untouched. And at the dinner table, where there used to be 2 chairs occupied every night, there was now only one. Some days I see women my age talking about their grandchildren and sharing pictures from family vacations. They talk about weddings they're planning for their children, and I feel a sadness so deep that I struggle to put it into words. Because I didn't just lose my son, I lost the late-night phone calls, the hugs, the chance to watch him become a father, and the grandchildren I hope to hold someday. I lost every future moment that would have included him. A few months ago, I found an old notebook among his things. Inside was a list he had written years earlier, places he wanted to visit, projects he wanted to accomplish, and dreams he hoped to achieve. There was even a list of baby names he liked for his future children. I locked myself in my bedroom and cried harder than I had cried since the day he passed away. Because in that moment, I realized something devastating. It wasn't only my son who had died. Every version of the future I had imagined with him died too. The weddings, the grandchildren, the holidays, and the family memories that were supposed to happen all disappeared with him. And so did the future he had imagined for himself. People often tell me to be strong. They tell me to be grateful that God gave me 30 wonderful years with my son, and part of me understands what they mean. But there are still nights when I hold one of his old shirts close to my chest and wonder how a mother is supposed to survive losing the only child she ever had. Because there are no grandchildren, no brothers or sisters, no second chance, and no one left who shares that part of my life. There is only me, trying to learn how to live with a silence that I still don't know how to fill.